Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is the week in review. Not even going to try and joke around about it or stall it. Very eventful week, if nothing else. The Bloodline storyline had a major development. And also on the AEW side, Collision had its television debut tonight. Actually, just concluded a little bit ago. So I figured we just open straight with that because my cohort and commentary here actually did watch the show. I will be upfront and say that I did not. And that might be for my ill because the card seems stacked. And I know Ashton said to me directly that Buddy Matthews versus Andrade, which was on that show, was awesome. So, partner, normally I'd ask you, what did you think of the week in wrestling? But I think, people will find that out for themselves when we just talk about what happened this week. So let's just open with, how was Collision tonight? Hot off the presses.
Collision was a mixed bag. I don't want to come right out and just say that it was a great show because while there was some great stuff on there was also some not so great stuff on there. Um, I think that CM Punk is the worst part of the show, personally.
I have seen his promo uploaded online. I don't know if anybody would want me to react to it here on today's episode because I know we've kind of made that a kind of quasi segment, so to speak, of just reacting to certain promos. Um, what I'll ask you not necessarily more of a pointed question, but kind of a guiding question. Do you think some of the AEW booking philosophy that we know kind of plagues Dynamite for the worst, do you think that's baked into Collision in any way?
That was actually something I wanted to talk about. I kind of don't. I kind of feel like the booking philosophies for Dynamite and Collision feel very different, at least so far.
Now, okay, well, let's tug on that thread a bit. When you talk about the differences, is that also kind of a mixed bag that some of the divergences are for the better, but some might be for the worse? Or how do you
Yes.
feel
Oh,
about it?
absolutely. Because here's the thing. I was in a call while Collision was going on with Curtis, Javaris, Dominique, DBK, and Mark.
Okay.
And one of the things that I said, and I wanted to kind of bring this back up here, was I feel like, uh, assuming no other major things go wrong again, like with the brawl out situation and the suspension and all that garbage and injuries, obviously, I feel like we are about to witness CM Punk on AEW Collision go on the kind of run that John Cena went on in WWE from '09 to like 2016.
Oh my God.
The
That's
entire
pretty long.
show feels like it is built around him. It does not feel like AEW Collision featuring CM Punk. It feels like the CM Punk show.
Okay, and that's definitely, given what you just said about Punk being the worst part of the show, if the show's built around him, that shows that that's a huge hindrance to the show achieving its potential. And if I may, just from your reactions, it seems like its potential is more reflective in the kind of bouts that Matthews and Andrade had tonight. Like if Collision
Yeah.
focused more on that, it
Yeah.
seems like it'd be more of a product.
But that's why it's so mixed though, because the the worst part of the show was also the thing that was featured the most on the show, but almost everything else about the show was good to great.
Yeah. So yeah, oh, I like that you pinned Abel's message there because I just pulled up the live stream for myself
Yeah.
just to follow everybody's comments. So welcome Abel and Mark. Great to see you
Because
guys.
in a way, Punk, well, not even in a way, but literally, Punk literally bookended this show. He opened the show with a reasonably long promo, and he main evented the show in a match. Plus, there was also like a featurette of Punk showing like kind of how we got here with the injury and the story and all that stuff in the middle of the show as well. So Punk was heavily featured on the show. It felt basically equally as indulgent as the Cody stuff on WWE, which we also hate. But the difference is almost everything else was so good.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too. They advertised a lot of stuff for Dynamite, and I feel like the ratio of good to bad on Collision is higher than it is on Dynamite. Like I would say that like 60 to 70% of Collision was good, and then like that 30 to 40% was Punk and maybe a little bit of other stuff. Whereas Dynamite feels 50-50 at best. With Dynamite, it's like it's a coin flip as to whether something's going to be absolute dog shit or really good.
Yes. I gotta say, man, and again, this is just from an outsider's perspective, because I didn't watch Collision tonight. Um, it did surprise me a bit to hear. I mean, I guess it shouldn't, because I think we all knew when Collision was announced. Oh, hey, Foster, don't stay up on our account if you get really tired. Okay, we understand. I'm just really happy to see you, and we love you. I think we knew when the show was announced that it would be very punk centric. But I think what surprises me is that they went ahead with that anyway, because I thought I was even hearing that they were really promoting Punk to drive ticket sales, and ticket sales they thought were really low for Collision. So we know that Punk's a draw. I'm not trying to take that away from him. He's genuinely improved the gate, financially for AEW in terms of like pay-per-view buys and stuff like that. I don't know if it's just if the scrum hurt his value, because that was something I thought about. Is Punk's PR kind of in the toilet because he can't help himself right now, and it
Yeah,
may take time. Seeing him wrestle again, maybe seeing him wrestle again will win people back. Or, I mean, because you see, like, I'm not trying to take this a certain way, and I'm not trying to force a parallel, so forgive me. But you can even see, like, with the Flash, I've been hearing that the Flash, in terms of the box office, is just doing very poorly.
yeah,
And I have to wonder if it's because a lot of people, understandably, are like Ezra Miller, thanks, no. And Punk obviously didn't do anything nearly as bad. I'm not trying to, make an equivalence between the two, but he was still coming off very much like a politician, very much
a
like a
drama
prima
king.
donna, a drama king. Yeah,
Prima donna's a good way
absolutely.
to put it for sure.
And like I just have to wonder if perceptually Punk has a PR problem, which means by extension Collision will have a PR problem. And I
Yeah,
have to wonder if Tony, and again, I ask this in sincerity, I have to wonder if Tony will have the courage and the gumption, if necessary, to kind of restructure Collision, because I thought he had the gumption to not rehire CM Punk, and look at where we are. So yeah, I don't know. Because let me ask you, with Andrade versus Matthews, because I want to focus on that match a bit more now that you and I have live mics and we're having a live discussion. Um, did it have like, because it sounded like with all the moves that you said happened, especially on Andrade's end, like Andrade, I guess, knew that fans were aching and really hungering for a match from him, so he
yeah.
like did his greatest hits. Did it have like a PWG kind of vibe to you at all? Because that's what it kind of sounded like to me when you're
Ooh,
describing the match.
that's a good way of describing it. I would say, yeah. That's not how I would have described it. It's more just like it was like more. I would almost say more 205 Live vibe, honestly.
Interesting,
It
interesting.
just
Especially,
felt like they just let those guys go out there and do their thing and just put on a fun match. But like there was like a refreshing feeling about it because A, we haven't seen Andrade in forever. And B, Matthews, it feels like we haven't seen him wrestle a singles match in a really long time. And there was kind of like some weird stuff going on with like I kind of think they were like doing like worked injuries where Andrade, when he did the jump off the barricade into the Hurricane Rana, he came up holding his left shoulder, and then Matthews grabbed him by the arm and pulled him into the ring post shoulder first. So it was like, okay, so this is like a worked injury. But then later on, Matthews did a Meteora, and then he came up holding his knee. And then okay, so but then we went to commercial, but it was a picture commercial, so they clearly wanted us to see this. While we were at a picture-in-picture commercial, they had someone in a black shirt, so like implying that it was someone from the medical team come in and check on Matthews, and then on in the opposite corner, like a fucking boxing match, they had another guy come in and check on Andrade. So it was almost like they were doing like almost like rounds. It was weird. They didn't stop the match, but the match came to a halt during the picture-in-picture commercial for these guys' quote-unquote injuries, which again I say quote-unquote because it feels like they were worked injuries to get checked on. But then as soon as we got back from the picture-in-picture commercial, they like got up, they stood in the middle of the ring, and we like it was like the match started over again almost.
right, right, okay. Just to kind of reset, because chat's really popping off. Paul, it's great to see you. DBK, great to see you. I'm sure we'll talk about Miro as well, because again, Ashton did watch Collision. I did not, so we'll get his thoughts on that, and I'll kind of bounce off of his thoughts. Um, Foster, why I said 205 Live is like, Ashton said that that's what Collision felt more like to him, because I said, did it have a PWG feel just based on the Matthews Andrade matchup? And that's kind of what we've been discussing.
No, yeah, I'm
Um,
not saying Collision felt like 205 Live. I'm just saying like the match itself, the Andrade versus Buddy Matthews match itself. Like if I had to label it, I would say it felt more like a 205 Live match than a PWG match.
right. Okay. Um, well, Javaris apparently said that Kenta just tweeted that he versus CM Punk will never happen. So yeah, chat is cooking right now. Great to see all you guys. So
Dude,
I'm glad at least that match was
oh
good.
god, CM Punk is such a fucking hypocrite. Oh my god.
Is this about the promo, or is this just in
Dude,
response to Kenta tweeting that?
literally, did you see the line that I sent you from the promo?
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, let me pull it up again if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll read it out
Um,
loud while you're pulling it up. He said, "I'm sorry that the only people softer than you are the wrestlers you like." And I'm just like, bro, literally just yesterday, ESPN published an article about you being scared to get in the ring with Hangman Page because you were afraid that he was going to shoot on you and injure you. And now there's a bunch of like rumors and news stories breaking that you're afraid to get in the ring with Kenta. And like the only implication we can take away from that is that he works too stiff for you. Like you're really calling other people's favorite wrestlers soft because you're petty. And meanwhile, have you looked in a mirror, my friend?
yeah, I wanted context on that line if you didn't mind, because that came off. I mean, it came off CM Punk for sure, but like in the context of the show and the universe of the show, it came off very heelish. Like, is
Oh no,
Punk a
dude,
heel?
he was full baby face, full blown 100%. As soon as his music hits, the crowd loses their minds. He's doing his CM Punk thing where he's like doing like the voice of the voiceless. He's saying what nobody else has the balls to say, kind of vibe. Like that's the vibe of what he's trying to cut the promo about.
Again, not to force anything, but that whole concept of being a voice of the voiceless and saying the things nobody else wants to say has aged very poorly. When a lot of people say that's why they like Trump, like it just makes me think of
Dude,
that same freaking energy.
he literally even had a line about how he's the one true genuine article in a business full of counterfeit bucks. Like he literally is taking shots at people in the company he fucking works for on a TV show adjacent to the show that they're also on.
But don't hit me, please.
Like, oh, fucking Christ. He's such a boomer. Like
Dude,
he's
I
not
know
even
you're.
he's a Gen Xer, but he's such a boomer on the in the brain.
Yeah, like, bro, I know you're not actually doing it, but just your tone sounds like you're just rubbing your temples, trying to
Dude,
center
I
yourself right now.
literally
That's
my hands were over my fucking were over my temples. They weren't rubbing, but they were over my temples when I said that the first time.
yeah, yeah, like, God. Um, Foster, Foster, bro, didn't you hurt your foot jumping into a crowd?
Dude, I'm so glad Alex has joined us for this because when he brings the heat, it is nuclear and I love it.
He's not even at 100% full power. He said he was tired coming into this chat, like
Yeah.
barely awake. Damn, punk, you ain't shit. So let's focus on something other than the dumpster fire here.
Okay, yeah.
Miro's return, since that clearly is what
Dude,
DBK wanted to talk about. How was it?
well, of course DBK wants to talk about it. Here's the thing. Miro obviously looks great. We knew that though because we just saw him walk into Tony Khan's office a few weeks ago. I actually didn't love this return, but it has nothing to do with Miro being a problem. I had a problem with how fucking long Tony Nese lasted against him. The match went way too long. That match literally should have been 90 seconds. Miro should have squashed his ass and it should have been done. There should have been 5 minutes of fucking Miro Day cheers or whatever. Like, I don't think he even does that anymore, but like, it should have been, there should have been way less match time. Tony Nese looked way too good against him, in my opinion.
Yeah, we need to bring back the squash match, unironically. Like, I feel like it's kind of a lost art in a lot of companies
Dude, I
today.
remember when we used to talk about how great NXT was at having exhibition matches where like they were short, like under 5 minutes clearly, but like the person losing you knew was gonna lose and the person winning was just there to like get their shit in and win. That's what I want, because I feel like this match went even longer than that, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, that's absurd, honestly. Because, like, I'm not trying to diss Tony Nese. I know every wrestler is, like, trying and, all that good stuff. But, like, come on.
Bro.
Perceptually and, in kayfabe, you put Nese, who hasn't done anything in AEW, against a guy like Miro, who at the very least has contended, and I think even been a former TNT champion. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Um, let me just ask for my own curiosity: was Thunder Rosa on the show at all? Because I know she was one of the
No.
people that went into Tony Khan's
Thunder
office.
Rosa was not on this show, but I've heard rumors that she might be on next week's show.
Okay, okay, so I'll have to keep an
So,
eye out for
no,
that.
yeah, she was not on this show. The women's match that we got on this show was Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue versus Ruby Soho and Tony Storm.
Okay, so dude, I was just about to say like it's crazy to me that Tony. I think I even saw somebody tweet something like this. I wish I could remember them so I could credit them properly, but that Tony has such a toxic locker room culture that he can't handle. That his resolution was, I'll just make a whole other show and I'll keep people separated. But I have to wonder if he's going to be committed to that if Rosa is on the same show as Tony and presumably Soraya as well. Because I don't think she had a problem with Ruby. I don't think Ruby was talking shit, which I'm thankful because I always thought she was a sweetheart. But yeah, obviously we know Tony and Rosa have beef. Tony and Britt have beef, but I don't even know if Britt would ever be on Collision. It's going to be interesting to see who shows up on that show going forward because this is only week one. But yeah, Willow and Sky Blue. I mean, we know Sky Blue on Dynamite had the match with Tony for the title,
Yes.
and Tony did retain.
And now
Um,
Sky Blue is a Chicago native, so of course she ended up getting the winning pin on Ruby.
okay, cool, cool. Sucks that Ruby ate the pin, but Tony is the champion, so I get it
Yeah.
in that case.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah,
Bro, I got to tell you too. Willow Nightingale hit a Death Valley driver on, I think it was Tony Storm. It looked like fucking death. Holy shit. There was like a little torque to it, like she was kind of spinning when she hit it. Oh my god, it looked devastating.
yeah, that's wild, bro. Um, just checking up on chat here. Yeah, Caster Sales has joined us. Welcome, Caster. Um, any other highlights from the show that you want to discuss? Because this was the debut episode.
We have a new TNT champion,
Oh wow. Okay, so Wardlow dropped it. Who did he drop it to?
Luchasaurus.
Oh, you know what? I don't mind this at all. It's about time Luchasaurus got some hardware.
Dude, you gotta realize though, Luchasaurus is the champion, but the best part of him winning is that he didn't even get to touch the title.
Wait, did Christian pull the King of the Ring trophy shit he used to
Yes,
do with Edge and just grab the
yes,
title?
yes, dude. He literally, as the ref was trying to hand the title to Luchasaurus, Christian snatched that shit, went over to the corner, held it up like he had just won it. Then he told Luchasaurus, "Come over here and lift me up," and he put him up on his shoulders like Fale and Devitt, and he held it up like he was the one that won the damn thing.
I know in a recent commentary I used this phrase and you said that's what I would have said, not what you would say. So I am going to say it. He's such a douche, and it's so
To be
earned.
fair, he is the
God,
reason that Luchasaurus won, because he clocked Wardlow over the head with a camera that some dude at ringside was holding.
God, for all the times I have made fun of Christian, especially when he was chasing the world title and like, oh, my favorite jobber and stuff. I mean, I do kind of stand by it, but at the same time, what a fucking king! Like, why couldn't this show be built around Christian Collision? I mean, the alliteration,
Yeah.
my God! And it's just like an hour of Christian cutting promos, and then the other hour is wrestling matches, and then main evented by his guy Luchasaurus, so that we get to see more
And
Christian.
then
I
a
don't see a problem
decade,
here.
15, 20, 25 years from now, you could use the archival footage of this show of Christian just cutting promos and wrestling matches to teach people how to be good wrestlers, because that's what he does. Or
That
maybe I
keeps
should
on
say
giving.
because that's how he rolls.
Oh my God, my pants just popped. Fuck. Now take that show, eat his crumbs, and enjoy it, future generations, and
Yeah.
suck less.
Yeah.
God, the show was so much better in my mind. No, that's not fair for me to say because I did not watch Collision. But like, Christian's such an asset to that company. If Tony Khan is lucky, when Christian's done being an on-screen character, he better hope that he'll want to do some backstage stuff. Because I hear that they wanted to get Chris Hero for that, like in a backstage
Yeah, I
capacity,
heard
and
that
he
Hero
actually
was
was
actually
backstage.
backstage for the night show. Dude, I even made the prediction before Miro's match happened that Chris Hero might be his opponent, but no, it was fucking Nice.
Yes. Oh God. Oh man. Yeah, I love Christian. I'm happy for him being the new TNT champion, technically.
I'll also say, Mark didn't agree with me for this, but I thought tonight's crowd was absolutely incredible. This was a very lively crowd. very loud. They were popping for everyone. Huge pop for Andrade. I mean, of course they popped for Punk too. Makes sense, hometown guy. Huge pop for Andrade though. Huge pop for Miro. I was even surprised at the pop that Buddy Matthews got. It might have just been because of the lights going out in the first place. Sky Blue got a nice pop because of the hometown thing. Like the crowd was lively all night. It was really nice to see.
Now, I feel like you would have said this already if that was the case, but just to be clear, they weren't at any point like trying to get themselves over, right? They were just
I didn't
clearly into the
notice
show.
it. I didn't notice it. I mean, Curtis at one point said that after Luchasaurus hit a chokeslam on Wardlow, the crowd was chanting boring. I didn't hear that. But even if that was the case, Wardlow did a great job of recovering because he immediately got into a power slam and then fucking swanton, which is crazy that he can do that at his size.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't notice the boring chants, but if you ask Curtis, there were some there. But still, they didn't last very long. During the Andrade versus Matthews match, there were "This is awesome" chants, which was awesome. Which, I mean, yeah, kind of recursive there, but yeah, uh, just dude, that match was just so good. It was just so nice to have Andrade back. I missed him so much.
I mean, he's an absolute king. If him and Santos ever are in the same room and have physical contact, I worry for the structural integrity of the universe.
Dude,
Um,
if Andrade ever gets another opportunity to work, I mean, even if it's not a BO or even if it's not a G1, if it is a BOSJ, I mean, I prefer the G1, but anything along those lines where you get to see him just rocking back to back to back singles matches, I might nut back to back to back at that point because he's so fucking good.
yeah, I mean, I certainly don't blame you. I mean, I feel bad for your pants, but I certainly don't blame you. Anything else you want to talk about from this show?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered it top to bottom. You had the Punk promo, then you had Luchasaurus winning the TNT title, then you had Andrade versus Buddy Matthews. I will say after that match, Andrade. Oh, did we even talk about the finish of that match? Buddy Matthews was trying to lock a condo clutch in on Andrade as like a shout out to Rhea, and then Andrade locked in a figure four, and then he fucking bridged it. We actually got Andrade doing a figure eight, and he won with it. He locked in the figure eight, like he bridged it, and Matthews tapped out to that.
Yeah, yeah, I know you mentioned that to me on Facebook, but I don't think we mentioned it like in this episode
And then
today.
yeah,
So I'm
and then
glad
yeah,
you reminded.
afterwards we had the rest of the House of Black come out. Actually, what happened was Andrade was trying to get Matthews to shake his hand, and then as it looked like he was about to, the lights went out, and when the lights came back on, House of Black were surrounding Andrade. But I think Scorpio Sky. Oh no! Wait, no, yeah, they all were surrounding Andrade, and there was a big, huge discus lariat by Brody King that just turned Andrade inside out. Then we did get a Scorpio Sky video package. That was a separate thing. But then we got the Tony Nese thing with Miro destroying him. Then we got the women's match. I will say, because we always talk about how the women always get the dead spot, the women's match started right after the end of the first hour. So
Okay.
I would say that their shit was not quite dead spot material. Um, so that was cool. I'm hoping that that fifth quarter, the first quarter of the second hour, has at least a decent rating or at least holds strong compared to the fourth quarter of the first hour. Then we got, there was a whole thing with the acclaimed. It was just a promo though. They didn't really even like establish anything new. It was just the acclaimed talking and they did their rap. They basically continued implying and saying that they wanted the trios titles with Daddy Ass, and that was the whole thing. They did the everyone loves the acclaim thing, and that was it. And then yeah, then was the main event, which was Bullet Club Gold and Samoa Joe versus FTR and CM Punk. I did not find this match all that compelling at all. I thought it was kind of boring, honestly. Punk looks out of shape to me, and Juice ate the pin because of course he did.
Oh wow. I was gonna say with Andrade beating Matthews, I mean he is 1/3 of the trios champs. I gotta
Yeah,
wonder if Andrade will find two
I
buddies and
well,
yeah.
that's a kind of a weird thing too. Is like I kind of had the same thought, but Curtis pointed out that Jose was nowhere to be seen. So I'm wondering if Andrade is even part of La Facción Ingobernable anymore. But if he is, I certainly hope that it's Rush Andradistico and that Preston Vance is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, that would be nice. It would be very nice actually.
But yeah, so that's
So
Collision. And now we can get into talking about literally anything you want.
well, I think it's time we just rip the band-aid off. I've Had a lot of time to compose myself for this. Bloodline's over. And I can't believe that between God Emperor Roman Reigns and resident bum ass twin, that bum ass twin won the day. Jey Uso has chosen to stick with his brother Jimmy, and they double super kicked Roman in the face. Now, I know that we're all in a lot of pain, particularly Abel and I. I don't know if Abel's even still here. I was, for this show today, going to make a video package of amazing Bloodline moments, set to Leave the Memories Alone. But then I realized I don't have any talent, so I gave up on it. But instead, wow, Paul. Wow, there's a lot of ha's in that laughter. Wow. So instead, I thought we could just take a few moments to reminisce about our favorite Bloodline moments. I mean, like, remember, I'm still here and I'm sad, Abel says. Remember when Jey Uso accepted a match with Kevin Owens on Roman Reigns' behalf, and he thought they were good, and he apologized, and Roman said, "I love you, but there's consequences for everything that we do." And by the end of that SmackDown, he beat the shit out of Kevin Owens with a chair. And when Jey Uso thought he was a part of it, Roman hit him in the back with a chair, and Jey was all scared. He's like, "What did I do?" And then Roman just bludgeoned him, saying, like, "Why do I got to keep repeating myself?" That was great. Remember before that when he choked Jimmy out with a guillotine in front of Jay? That was also great. That was great. Or the time that they won the undisputed tag titles thanks to Roman doing the work and standing front and center because the bloodline was and should be all about him. Or the time that he made Paul Heyman cry and Paul Heyman weekly said, "Please don't do this," and he didn't. It was a little back and forth there, but Paul he came around. Man, what a faction. Sammy Uso, I mean, he kind of ruined everything in the end, but I mean, it was fun while it lasted, right? Yeah, just good times, good times. And now it's over. So thanks, Jimmy. Thanks a lot. Wow. Wow, Javaris. Wow. I am trying to mourn, and everyone else is like, no, no, wow. Well, at least I know Abel's on my side. I made no presumptions that you were on my side, good sir. I knew where you stood. I will say, if anybody wanted me to give a more serious note about this, we now are in very interesting territory because Jay has made his choice. I don't think WWE is like TNA, because I've seen TNA do storylines like this, where it's like, oh, it was a long con, and actually, I was the heel the whole time, and he'll go back with Roman. I really do think it's over.
Yeah.
So here is what I would do. And this is what I've seriously been thinking about all day. I didn't even touch trying to do a video trip. I don't even know how we fucking do that on this show. Here's what I've really been thinking about all day. Now is the time that you need to put the fear of Jey Uso in Roman Reigns. And this to me is one way that I think you could do it. We've been talking about an Usos versus Solo and Roman tag match at Money in the Bank. I would have Jey pin Roman in that match.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. Roman would still be the champion. And I know he hasn't been pinned or submitted for as long as he's been the champion, right? But they're two separate streaks. You can give up one without losing the integrity of the other. So I would do that. I would have Jey pin Roman. This sets up Jey versus Roman for SummerSlam, which should 1000% be the main event. However, I would have Roman go over by cheating again. I really want to drive home the point that Roman cannot beat this dude without fighting dirty.
Yeah.
Then you kind of build Jey up a bit. Maybe you even have Roman say, I talked to the elders or whatever. You are never going to get another shot at me. You build Jey up. I personally, when I'm already thinking about Final Four for Rumble 2024, I have Jey, I have Sammy, I have Drew, and I have Cody. 4 people that Roman's had beef with.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then because I know they want to build up Cody, but I would have him win because I know it's inevitable, so I'm trying to do it in the safest way possible. I would have him win the World Heavyweight title, not the undisputed Universal title. So I would have it come down to Jey and Cody. Jey wins. Mania 40, because Jey has total Rocky Balboa fucking energy to me, and it's in fucking Philadelphia. You do Jey, Roman, WrestleMania. I don't know how you build it along the way. If there's a stip, if there's some way he can get Solo banned from ringside or what. But finally, it's a fair fight. Maybe if Roman gets disqualified or counted out, he loses the title. I've seen that stip against heels before at Mania. I know, like, I'm reaching here, but like Mania 19. Angle Lesnar, they did that. It's like, oh, Kurt, if you get disqualified, kind of, you lose the championship. Maybe they do that with Roman because it's like, we're tired of you not really defending this title, but like all of you defending this
Bro,
title.
imagine
Roman,
if
you
they
got to stand
did
it up.
another Hell in a Cell match, but Jay makes it explicitly clear to Jimmy that he does not want him out there.
Exactly. Yeah, they should. They should. Because the whole story to me, and again, this is being I did love the bloodline and I do love Roman Reigns. That's sincere. But I'm happy for Jay, especially after the threads I've been reading and what this means to abuse survivors and abuse victims, of which I think we've all known some kind of abuse or somebody that's just toxic in our lives, like Roman was toxic for Jay and Jimmy and just really the whole thing, but specifically Jay. This story, I think it's the perfect culmination to have Jay win the title. I can understand people that are like, it's not needed because it's more about him emancipating himself from Roman. But to me now, right, the story is Jay becoming the tribal chief. Because that's what Friday was to me. He's like, oh, I've groomed you. I've set you up for this spot. It's the same shit they tried to sell to Batista. Ric Flair, when Batista was getting more frustrated, it's like, hey, listen, Triple H has said when he steps down, you lead Evolution. You be the man. You can't be the man. You can't be the tribal chief without the championship. So to me now, it's not just about Jay being a survivor. It is fully, in the most totalizing sense possible, overcoming his abuser and taking his mantle. Jay becomes tribal chief, but he needs the title to do it. But I think it should be a long and arduous road because he wants to be tribal chief his way, the right way. And you build it to Mania 40. I see no reason why you can't fucking do it. None. None. And yeah, I think this segment was great. I think the pop from the crowd was earned. To be honest, I didn't know if they would drag it out a bit more where Jay had a bit more conflict, but honestly, once Jimmy left, you kind of narratively forced in where it's like, okay, how much longer is Jay going to be conflicted when the person that matters most to him is, on the outs? I loved it. I thought everybody again played their parts immaculately. And if I can just say, Jay, Jay has really become one of the best promos in that company. There was a moment in this where you can tell, like, he was trying to think of what to say about Jimmy when he's trying to act like all mad with Jimmy. And like there's like a pause there, but rather than stuttering or taking too long, he just threw something out there like, oh, Mr. Prom King. And like that was gonna, because then he got rolling, like Mr. Most Likely to Succeed, this and that. I feel like that was a genuine, like Jay's like, okay, like how do I do this? And he figured it out. Like that to me is impressive. How many times have we seen Charlotte fall flat on her face
Yeah.
or Ronda, and they're like getting the big spots, the big money. Jay here, you want to talk about being groomed and this and that. I think in a non-kayfabe sense, like this dude really has been built magnificently for the main event, and it's up to WWE whether they want to put him there or not. And like after that, I could buy him there. So those are my serious thoughts about it. Obviously, I like having my fun. Obviously, I'm still hoping Roman Reigns wrecks Jimmy Uso, but we'll get that, in due time. How did you feel about this segment? I'd like some of your deeper thoughts on this now that this is like exploding the bloodline and this is a huge moment in the storyline.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting the way that they went about handling it, where they basically had it seem like Jay was actually like jealous of Jimmy, and like the whole like, oh, like do what your bigger do, listen to your older brother, do what your older brother does, that kind of stuff, like that whole like kind of line of thought that they went down, only to have it be a swerve the whole time. But I will say, I popped like crazy when Jay super kicked Roman. When he said, and I am too, I was like, holy shit, I lost my mind.
Yeah, dude, I mean, I've been so engrossed in this storyline. We were in Discord and I deafened just because I didn't want to miss a moment of
Oh,
this.
dude,
I'm
when
like,
I
I'm
got back
staying.
and I saw that you were deafened, I saw that as an opportunity to do the same, believe me.
Yeah, because I'm like, no, I love you all, but I'm not missing a second of this
Yeah.
because this has been so intricate and so immaculate. That's why I get why we were all terrified of Cody. I was terrified too. I still can't believe in hindsight that I was like, Roman Reigns is going to retain. I wish now I would have said it. Well, actually, I did kind of say it with my whole chest, and thankfully it paid off. But it's because I've always seen either Jay or Sammy, and now especially Jay. Guys, when you go back and you watch the old stuff, like I was even mentioning, hopefully I mentioned it on a commentary. I might have mentioned it just to Ash in a conversation. Last Sunday, I was just kind of chilling, kind of vibing, and watching a bunch of Bloodline content. And one of the things I watched was Jay's original promo that really started all of this. Why can't I provide for the family, Oos? Why can't I, be the champion and the head of the table? It's always been a competition between you and I. You've always been on top, Mr. Main Event, Mr. WrestleMania. You know what they say when they see me, Oos? Which one are you? That's been his whole thing, his whole time. Um, and like, yeah, people buy Jay as a main eventer. People buy him as the guy that can beat Roman. And again, him being this really tough babyface, because I mean, Roman's put him through the ringer, but he survived it. So now I also believe in the toughness of Jey Uso, mentally and physically. I don't think there's a person on this roster he can't beat. Maybe except like a Gunther, but then again, he's a mastodon, and that's a completely different
Yeah,
conversation.
like honestly, we're kind of in territory where you'd have a hard time convincing me that Roman Reigns could beat Gunther without cheating.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, like that's really a nothing burger. Jay is in a great spot right now. And again, I say, oh, Foster, that's adorable. And again, I say, like, Jay is totally believable. And I was kind of like, I was kind of on the fence for a while, like I saw people's arguments and I was sympathetic to them, but I'm like, I just need a little something else. But just seeing his mic work and seeing him finally stand up to Roman and knowing that it's probably going to be him and Roman at SummerSlam, and it's probably going to slap, if only because of the character work and the story around the in-ring stuff. Like, yeah, this is his year. We always talk about people like it's their year. 1 year it was Punk's year, then it was Bryan's year. I feel like Mania 40, it's Jay's fucking year. So again, it just depends if WWE does that or not. But yeah, yeah, I love, and by the way, because we've been making parallels to like abusers and abusive tendencies and stuff, Roman sold the initial super kick perfectly when he's starting to recover and he's like putting two and two together what happened, and he's enraged and he's slamming the mat and he's like, "You can't leave me. You can't leave me." Because how many people are like that? Like, you can't leave me. You need me. You
Yeah.
need me. You're nothing without me. And that's what Roman's doing. And how do they respond? Together, bonded by their love as brothers, they both super kick him. It's beautiful. This is honestly, if WWE has ever done a storyline close to what Lucha Underground has done,
Yeah.
it's this.
Yep.
It's absolutely 1000% this.
Yep.
This was amazing. Absolutely amazing. This was art. And it continues to be art because it's not over. It's just the faction is over. And also credit to WWE for having a faction go this long. Because like Evolution didn't go this long. The Shield, I don't think, went this long. Like, they really let this last. If you didn't get what you wanted out of it, I don't know what to tell you because I feel like they did everything they could with this. Yeah, this was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I agree with Caster. Roman sold the double super kicks perfectly too. And then I don't know if you saw the digital exclusive that they put up on YouTube,
I did not.
but Roman, dude, looked like, fuck, we need to regroup. I need to know what to do now because now he knows he's in it. Because it was always Jay. Jay
See
was the
now,
one he was. Yeah.
if they were ever going to bring in Jacob Fatu, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't
Because,
think
like,
they
yeah,
will. I don't expect it. But if they were ever going to be like, Roman looks like he's at his weakest, but he just found the fucking X factor, the fucking skeleton key to figuring out how to get back at the Usos and replace them and basically tell them to go fuck themselves. Jacob Fatu would be that guy.
I completely agree with you. And Javaris apparently enthusiastically agrees with you. Um, and I agree. First of all, just on a more meta level, I want to also agree with Foster. Roman has been so great this entire title reign,
Yeah.
giving his opponents, giving his struggles their due. I don't think he's buried a single person since he's fucking gotten here.
Maybe Claudio.
Um, You know what though? Even Claudio, they at least worked in the match that he had that he like hurt his shoulder, and even then, like the power looked insane. But that's like that would be the closest. Maybe Theory, but fuck Theory, and they didn't even have a match. It was just more of a promo thing, like your daddy's not here anymore. Which I mean, come on, Theory had it coming.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna feel too bad about that. No, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. I'm a big fan. Roman again in the digital exclusive just looked like, oh man. Because even when Jimmy returned the first time, Roman's biggest concern was losing Jay, which that's also fascinating. Like, he fears Jay. He won't say it. He can't say it because if he says it out loud and it becomes real, he loses his standing, at least psychically, as the tribal chief.
Right, because
Right.
Roman's afraid
Yeah.
of being supplanted by Jay. I mean, that's like the whole
Yeah.
thing, right? Is that like he kept the man that he feared the most as his right hand man.
Exactly. And that's exactly why it's the overall the big story is Jay becoming the tribal chief.
Yep.
And like, yeah, I'm loving this. And really, I do have to wonder when it's all settled, and I'm thinking like after Mania 40, if we do get Jay versus Roman, which I'm not giving up on, the same way like I refused to give up on Roman when Cody was staring him in the face. I'll keep believing it until WWE tells me with their whole chest that it's not happening. But if it happens, and if Jay wins, which you would fucking hope he would, it's Mania, it's a babyface, it's Philly, it's everything. You know, what does Jay standing on his own as a main eventer look like? Like, what feuds? What does he do after he drops the title? Like, the rest of his career after something of this magnitude just really fascinates me, just in the directions that it can go. So, yeah, this storyline was huge. Obviously, I wanted to talk about it extensively. Also, credit to Paul Heyman. His facial expressions and his mannerisms have just
Always.
been so fucking good.
Yeah.
I was even thinking about the old Paul Heyman. It's funny how he's even changed as a character over the years. Because the old Paul Heyman, when he was like with Brock Lesnar, and then he cheated on Brock Lesnar with the Big Show, and then he cheated on the Big Show with Kurt Angle, but really he wanted them both at the same time. He was always just such a slime bag and a coward, and he's still a coward here, but like he's more dignified, and he has been the last couple of years. It's like, oh well, I'm an official businessman. I'm just an advocate. So yeah, everybody's great.
Yeah.
Um, that was that. How do you feel about Io screwing with Bailey?
Before we talk about that, I just want to address one unrelated thing quickly because it's the only thing that's relevant about Rampage that I wanted to talk about at all. Takeshita versus Bandito was really good, but I did hear that apparently Bandito got injured and is going to have to get surgery pending a second opinion.
No.
I think it was like broken wrist or something like that, broken ankle maybe, something along those lines.
Yeah,
But again,
that
he's seeking a second opinion, I guess, on Monday. So we're gonna find out, I guess, whether he actually does have to get surgery or not. From what I understand, whether it's a broken wrist or a broken ankle, either way, it shouldn't last longer than like 3 months. So it's not like he's gonna miss the rest of the year or anything. But it still sucks that he's missing time at all.
yeah, definitely.
But that said, the only reason I bring that up is because, like, literally the entire rest of Rampage was completely skippable. Like, that's the only relevant part of Rampage to me was that match, and then the news coming out of it that yeah, Bandito got hurt.
Well, Bandito is the most relevant part of any product he's a part of, to be fair. I mean, what a man, am I right? But
Unless he's on the same product as Andrade, then he's second.
that's true. But I mean, again, just imagine them on the same team. I kind of need it now.
Oh my
But
god, bro! Imagine if Andrade recruits him to LFI, and it's the two of them with Roosh. Oh,
oh, all
damn!
right. Well,
You
I made
just
a mess.
stroked all that vinegar, huh?
Yeah, it's a puddle. So with that, what should we? Oh yeah. Bailey screwing or Io screwing with Bailey. How'd you feel about that? The developments in the damage control storyline.
Yeah, that was very frustrating, but I'm curious where it goes. God, there was a very what's the word? Heated, I guess you could say, conversation about about the women's Money in the Bank on the Discord earlier today, where you know half the people are saying they want Bailey to win, half the people are saying that they don't want Bailey to win, except they aren't using as generous of language as I just did because, of course, everything that they don't like has to be stupid or dumb or bad or whatever. So yeah, that was unfortunate. But I am starting to wonder if Bailey's even going to be in the match at this point because she's got a match with Shotzi, where if she loses, Shotzi gets her spot in the ladder match.
Yeah, which like
Did you also did you see what the sixth qualifying match is going to be?
no.
Oh God, Raquel versus Trish.
Oh god. Well, Raquel's winning that probably,
Yeah.
and she might even. Because here's the thing, dude. Bailey lately has been at ringside for Io's matches and costing Io matches. Io might cost Bailey and then just be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Then Bailey just officially turns on Io, but then that would take them both out. Is Raquel gonna win this freaking ladder match? God.
So who all is in it again? Right now, before any matches that could take anyone out, it's just Bailey, Io, Becky, Zoe, and who else?
Becky's Bailey. Zelina.
Zelina. Okay. See, God, that's so weird and interesting. You know, fuck. We're gonna end up doing preview and predictions, and I'm gonna end up picking Zoe Stark to win, and I hate myself for it.
You know what that, you said if you were a few octaves higher, you would grace. That's amazing. You know,
You know.
looking at the field, I think it's very interesting. No, I'm not going to do the whole thing. That's I was annoying myself. Jesus Christ. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but yeah. I just now you got me worried that Raquel's just going to win the whole thing. So I'm just never going to love Money in the Bank again. This pay per view keeps hurting me, and after Flashing Champions hurt me, I'm just tired of wrestling hurting me. It's um, it's not a trend I'm a fan
You know,
of.
WWE really missed out on an opportunity to market the shit out of Raquel.
Why? You mean like with Backlash
No,
potentially?
no, I don't think Raquel is Puerto Rican. I think she's Mexican or maybe I don't know. But
Oh,
no, my
okay.
point is because she is literally the human version of Luisa from Encanto.
Oh, yeah, so and then you figure, like, Disney and WWE apparently wanna be in bed with each other, so, like, why
Yeah.
not?
And like Encanto came out when Raquel, she might have even been NXT champion at the time. Encanto
Probably.
came out. Encanto came out November of 2021.
Oh my god, it's almost been 2 years already, that's kinda wild.
November of 2021. Oh, it was Mandy. Ew.
Ew!
But she had literally just won the title from Raquel. And WWE had the opportunity to bring up Raquel and push her to the moon as Luisa. They could have literally just pushed her as the real life version of Luisa from Encanto. And they didn't see it, so they missed out.
Yeah, wow. Sucks for them.
Yeah, sucks to suck.
Nice. Alright. Um,
Caster in chat said Zoe is better than Raquel. The sad thing is, I'm not entirely sure whether I agree or disagree on that. They're just both bad to me. I just don't like either one of them.
yeah, I read that and I'm like, I beg to abstain
Yeah.
because I have one. Yeah.
Wow.
God, I'm amazing.
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
but I'm not wrong. But no. So yeah, EO stay screwing with Bailey. Foster, even if she is that really a flex? No.
Foster also said, if anything, I see Bailey losing against Shotzi, but then Io wins Money in the Bank, and Bailey acts like it's a win for both of them. See, I feel like you're almost just kind of ignoring any kind of potential tension between the two of them. And I don't think that that's wise. I think that there's definitely tension there, and I think that it's probably going to blow off either at Money in the Bank or soon after.
Yeah.
My whole thing has been this whole time that I think that Bailey wins Money in the Bank, Io wins one of the championships at SummerSlam, and Bailey immediately cashes in on her and screws her over out of it.
You know, I could see this kind of yeah, first of all, I agree with you. And then second of all, I could see this kind of being a Triple H Michaels Kevin Nash situation where like Triple H and Michaels were feuding in '02, but then in '03 Nash came back and he tried to make peace and then Triple H was like, no, I'm running with Evolution now, so again, no." And
You
Nash
know,
had
it is
trouble
a
deciding.
mystery.
Yeah, well, exactly. And Nash had trouble deciding, and so Triple H just kicked him in the balls and made the decision for him. I could see Dakota being the Nash in the situation when she comes back. Like, guys, can we just go back to running the division? And Bailey, who I'm assuming is going to be the heel in this, is just like, Dakota, did you not see how she betrayed me? Like, come on, it's easy. Just choose my side. But then Dakota and Io were tag champions together, and they clearly love each other. So it's like, Io, I'm sorry. And then Bailey just attacks her and makes a decision for her. And then Dakota becomes face, and she gets in the program with Bailey. So, yeah, I could see that happening. But damage control, huh? It had so much potential, and then they just decided that they weren't going to do anything with it. That's
I mean, you know, God. So your complaint is completely valid, but I also feel like we've been lodging it for almost a year now.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm only bringing it up again just because it seems like the end is near, and
Yeah,
unlike the Bloodline, where I feel like you did everything with it, it's like damage control, what could have been. But I feel like this is the swan song coming for this faction here.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, like my whole thing is I don't know what their plans are, but I want their plans to be Bailey versus Io in a long feud for the title that ends up with Io holding it potentially to and maybe even through WrestleMania. Like that's where I want this to land.
yeah, that's. That's fair. We'll have to see what happens. Um,
Io winning the
anything?
title at WrestleMania wouldn't disappoint me either.
No, I mean, that would be great. I mean, a performer of Eo's caliber was born for WrestleMania, so
Mm-hmm.
can't really complain about that.
Especially with
Um,
how fucking over she's been lately. Jesus Christ.
hell
I think
yeah,
even
again,
Zelina's
those.
been really over lately too. I can't deny that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so anything you want to talk about?
Oh, well, do you want to talk about the 30-minute time limit draw that Adam Cole and MJF had on Wednesday?
Uh, yeah, we can talk about that because I actually did see the closing minutes of that, on
Oh,
YouTube.
cool. Tell me about it.
Uh, well, you initiated. Wait, did you not see it?
Oh, bro, I barely paid attention to it. I didn't give a fuck.
Oh, okay. So did a little back and forth, and MJF tried to, kind of do the Eddie Guerrero thing with the title because he grabbed the world title and then he
Oh
tossed it to
yeah,
Cole,
that I
but
did see. Yeah, I did see that.
Bryce kind of fell forward, and then Cole's like, "Oh, cool!" Uses the title, gets the boom. MJF kicked out, which immediately like, why? Like that was eating so much offense. Why do people think it's okay to kick out of stuff like this? I don't. It's really starting to annoy me ever since Flashing Champions. It's across the board. It's like an industry wide problem. Um, so then they do a bit more back and forth. I think MJF got a low blow, and then I think Cole got one back, and they did a little bit more. Oh, you got the Panama Sunrise, that's right. And then another, boom, Shine was back in the head. And then right as the three was about to be rendered on the three count, the bell rang. So I will give credit for this. Timing was immaculate because that's just like rips through your chest. Like, oh, he's just going to win, right? And then at the last second, bell rings. So I thought that was well done.
Dude, it's
But
so
yeah,
funny too because that wasn't even an AEW championship match. That was just an eliminator match. The title wasn't even on the line. It was just if Adam wins, he gets a title shot.
exactly. Exactly.
And they
So,
couldn't even give him that.
yeah. No, MJF is incredibly protected. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, just an observation. Just very protected.
And then Adam has the fucking gumption to ask for 5 more minutes as if, like, he exposed himself here, I feel like, because he knew last week that MJF didn't have the balls to fight him. And that's what got MJF to accept this match in the first place. And then after their 30 minutes, Adam asked MJF for 5 more minutes as if he didn't know the answer beforehand.
Yeah. And MJF's like, I have nothing to prove to you, and I'm still the champion, so fuck off.
Yeah, and he
And
left.
then, yeah, he leaves, gets iced, and then he gets told by Renee that Tanahashi's challenging him because we see the Tanahashi video package.
Mm.
He feels like the AEW championship won't really be prestigious or achieve its potential for as long as Max is holding it. And he said he came close to beating Moxley last year, so he wants another shot. I feel like Tanahashi low key flexing, like, you're not as tough as Moxley. I can beat you for that title, even though Moxley was who MJF beat for the title. But I digress.
Thanks to William
Uh,
Regal.
Thanks to William Regal, but hey, he is a heel. It's to be expected. Um, and then MJF is like, excuse me. And then Renee repeats, like, what's going on? And MJF's like, no, I really don't think I'm going to do that. So Tanahashi, not going to happen. Not going to show up at Forbidden Door. So again, this whole thing where MJF thinks New Japan's an indie fed and he's kind of crapping all over it. No, I'm not doing this. I'm not showing up. So like, I have to wonder how Tanahashi is going to get MJF to accept, because MJF is one of those heels that, like, if I don't have to work, I'm not going to. He wants to very much be a Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns type champion. So how is Tanahashi going to get him out of hiding and be like, put that title on the line against me? What disrespect is he going to levy towards MJF? So that does have me a bit intrigued. And then I have no idea where they go with Cole, because I don't think that program's over at all. I just think they're building it up a bit more, which actually gives me confidence that maybe Cole would ultimately be the one to beat MJF, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fine for what it was, but, it's AEW, so you're only going to get so much.
Yeah. So then on Dynamite, we had a whole thing with Sammy Guevara talking about Ty being pregnant and then wanting to hold the AEW championship. And then fucking Darby Allin came out and asked him if he was ready to leave the JAS. And then, of course, Jericho came out and he was pissed that Sammy never asked him for help while he was challenging MJF for the world title, and then Sammy was like, "Oh, why didn't you ever ask for my help while you were losing to Adam Cole twice?" And then Jericho demanded an apology. But then, while they were all like bickering with each other, they kind of turned it around and they were like, "Oh, it's a 2-on-1. We can beat Darby up right now." And then Sting showed up. And then, we did the whole thing with Sting and Darby chasing Jericho and Sammy off, and that led us to our second match, the Mogul Embassy versus Sting, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Keith Lee. God, I fucking love the Mogul Embassy. It is so good. They lost,
Yeah.
but the match was great.
God, I hate when we say that though about people we like, and it's been a trend for several years for as long as you and I have been doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, they're really good. They just lose. It is what it is.
God,
Uh, and I'm
you
just
know,
tired
I,
of saying it.
you know, you made me want to do some kind of a study. Like, I want to go interview wrestling promoters. Like, why what's the logic behind having your most talented people lose a lot? And they like maybe there's a real reason behind it, or maybe they'll just be in denial. Maybe they'll just be like, our most talented people are the people that we book to win all the time. And I'm just like, oh, so it's just a talent evaluation disagreement. That's all we've got going on here. Or maybe it'll be like, well, because you see, here's the reason why. If you have the people that are the most talented lose the most, blah 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 blah, and then we can get a real reason for it.
Well, I mean, I hope that study, I hope you do it, and I hope it soars. Yeah. Yeah, like Foster said, our most talented people, well, the chart says. You got to bring all that evidence of ratings and who's a draw and who's not. You got to shove it in their face. Um, but yeah, I'm happy for Swerve that he has his own faction. I just wish they would win more. Glad it was a good match, though. I mean, at least you can say that much that he's doing
Dude,
his job
it's
well.
great that Swerve is finally a part of a faction where he isn't just carrying dead weight. Like, and I don't want to make it clear. I'm not saying that that's what the case was with him and Keith Lee by any means. Obviously, I love Keith Lee too, but him and fucking Parker Boudreaux and the fucking skid marks on his face guy. And then even before that, you could argue, yeah, Hit Row to a degree as well. It was like Swerve and then these other people that he has to kind of carry along. No, this is Swerve, the Machine, and these two other dudes that are fucking beasts as well. I love all four of these guys are great.
They just all looked at each other and they're like, we can beat everybody up if we wanted to. And then they're like, yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I mean, we'll never win, but we'll let them know. We'll leave them our calling card on their face.
And now, unfortunately, I don't see any singles gold in the near future for Swerve because the world champion is a heel, the TNT champion is a heel, and he literally just challenged for the international championship 10 days ago?
Yeah.
11 days
And
ago? So, yeah, no, he's just if he's going to win any titles, it's going to have to be with someone. Maybe him and Cage can go after FTR.
see, that would be nice. That would be
It
nice.
would be
And then
really
FTR can,
ironic, though, considering there's an actual established tag team in the group.
yeah. Yeah, don't really know how you square that.
With Pie
Well, I'll be damned.
and the
What happened after
Radiance.
this?
Um, the Guns are going to be challenging the Hardys next week on Dynamite.
Yeah, I'm above this. What else?
You're above this too. Wardlow defended wait, they called it the AEW World TV Championship? No, it's the TNT Championship. Wardlow defended the TNT Championship against Jake Hager.
I actually did see this. He only used 2 power bombs to beat Hager. So yeah,
And
harmless
now
enough.
he
Hager didn't
lost it
win.
to Luchasaurus. Oh, yeah.
Which means that Luchasaurus is also superior to Hager, which we all knew that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
We're getting Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia versus Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata on this coming Dynamite, so that should be fun. Garcia also challenged Shibata for the ROH Pure Championship.
Should be a fun matchup. Curious how that'll go. And I mean the pure championship match. Tag match should also be fun though, to be
Then
fair.
we had
Uh
Tony's
yeah.
successful title defense against Sky Blue.
Yes.
Um, then we got the announcement of Jungle Boy accepting Sonata's open challenge for the IWGP World Title.
God, I had a really mean joke I wanted to say, but I don't know what today, but I'm gonna bite my tongue. I'm actually gonna choose to be a better person.
Oh, but fuck Jungle Boy, I want to know.
Yeah, look, I refuse to be impressed with a man whose greatest claim to fame is when he takes his girlfriend out to his favorite restaurant, he brags that he has his own reserved booster seat. Okay? Fuck
It's
him.
not even that mean. I thought you were gonna make a dead dad comment. Holy shit.
No, because that's too insensitive even for me. But yeah, God, Sonata's gone downhill selling out when they're like, oh, you're good enough to face Jungle Boy. Like, and you wonder AEW why nobody wants to partner with you. Like
Dude,
if
Rossi, she comes off like such a Chad in this.
because no, yeah, if you really want me, not necessarily to be mean for mean spiritedness is like own sake, but if you want me to just be stern and take the gloves off, like if Tony Khan had Mayu Iwatani in his fucking hands, he wouldn't even know what to do with it. He
she'd
wouldn't know
be
what to do with it.
she'd be
Yeah.
jobbing to Tony Storm and Soraya.
She'd be driving in Tony Storm Saraya. She'd be
And
fucking,
Britt
she might even
Baker,
like
of
fucking,
course.
or Britt Baker. Hell, she might even job to somebody that Tony wants to get over on his own show. Like, oh, we'll have you do Sky Blue, or if she was healthy, like Red Velvet. 'Cause I think she's injured right now. Or returning
Oh, I
Jade,
miss
just
Red
raised up.
Velvet. She was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, Foster. Foster, you have been murdering everybody today, and you're like the sweetest one. You're like evil Sonata, bro. I'm in House of Torture, and I feel sorry for you. Oh yeah, but like Tony could get all these stardom women, and he wouldn't even know the value that he has in his hands, and he wouldn't know how to maximize it because it's not about. I mean, it is about getting his women over. Don't get me wrong, but like it should be intelligently knowing the stardom quality that he has. Like, oh, Jamie, if Jamie was healthy, you've worked stardom, you know these people. Why don't you work Mayu and have a banger and let people know they want quality women's wrestling? They watch Dynamite. I mean, sure, it's a lie, but we can pass it off for long enough. And such and such. But no, it would either be about Britt or any of the bullshit, like you said. So it's a waste. I'm happy that Rossi has a full like chain link fence up on that roster. Like, no, we're not working with you. We'll work with Marvelous. We'll work with other people that don't
Yeah.
suck. And
We'll
by
work with
work, I mean,
Marvelous. We'll work with Wave. We'll work with Sendai Girls. I mean, they've worked with. I mean, we've seen them work with other companies before, but go fuck yourself. Especially JTO. They work with JTO a lot.
yeah, and by work with, I mean sending for certain talents that I will thoroughly scout and then decide, do I want to poach you or not? And then if I do, I mean, it's over. But yeah, I mean, Rossi, he's still got that business. It's still doing well. So why get in bed with AEW when they don't even know how to book a women's division? Um, yeah, Javaris is like, and bet money they would have had Soraya beat Mercedes. Yeah, probably Javaris. I don't know. That one's a bit tougher to call, but I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. So yeah, Sonata's being wasted at Forbidden Door for fucking Jungle Boy of all people.
Well, dude,
Who
that's kind of how I see it because Javaris talked about Soraya beating Mercedes. We've got to kind of keep in mind that as much as AEW can frustrate us, they can't just lose every match on their own show. You know what I mean?
right?
Like
Yeah,
we and obviously whoever was going to challenge Sonata for the IWGP Championship had to lose that match. So it's like, okay, well, Kenny's got his thing going on, so like they're like trying to figure out who they're going to have challenge Sonata that can lose to Sonata. It's like God, I still at the same time, I wish it could have been like an Andrade or a. Oh my God, that match would have been so fucking good. See, now I'm angry again because it could have been Andrade and it's not.
could have been Andrade, could have been Keith Lee. I know the size disparity, but maybe I
Oh,
mean they're two innovative guys. They could have come up with something
it could have
creative.
been Swerve.
Yeah,
What if
like
Sonata's racist though?
I mean, that's a whole separate. You kind of took me out with the way you asked that. That's a whole separate thing that I'm not even gonna even act like I'm prepared for. Okay, um, but I would hope.
Oh God, what if Just Five Guys is a Japanese nationalist faction?
Jeez. Bro, you're not even near me, and I'm wondering if you got into my stash. What the fuck? What are you talking about right now? Well, folks, clearly Ashton's in his own little universe where he's booking things.
Dude, it's so sad that it actually explains why Sonata sold out. It wasn't him selling out, it was him revealing his true self. Oh God. Oh.
Oh my. God, dude, you're spiraling. Get it together. Although it is pretty sus that Sonata recruited the guy that openly cheated on his own wife and is kind of proud
But
of it
wasn't it the
in
other way
Taichi.
around? Didn't Taichi recruit him?
Oh, was it?
Well,
Oh God.
Taichi was in just four guys, and they were the ones that recruited Sonata to
Oh
become just
God.
five guys.
Oh God. That's right. Oh geez, Sonata, why? Well,
Sonata
yeah.
Sonata joined a faction knowingly and willingly that consisted of Taichi, Hanemaru, I think, Taka Michinoku, and Doki.
It does have like weird energy. I'll just put it that way.
I'm just
Sonata
saying.
just coming up to Taichi. Didn't you cheat on your wife? And Taichi's like, yeah, I did. And Sonata's like,
No,
base, let's do it.
Alex Foster in chat said, didn't Taka also cheat on his wife? Oh, God.
Is that the theme of the faction?
Oh,
Oh
no.
man. Man, that's wild. That is wild. All
Oh,
right.
no.
I don't even know where we were anymore. I completely left the reservation the moment this one was like, is it a Japanese nationalist faction? If there was a TwitWoW Quote of the Year award that we would award to ourselves, that would win, hands down. Because what the fuck? Um, but yeah, look, nobody. Well, I mean, Liam's not here, so I can safely say nobody gives a shit about Dynamite. So did anything
Oh,
interesting
my
happen?
God, Mark. The fucking limbs that you are willing to go out on. Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow, Mark. You know, I'm not gonna send you to your room because that effort was impressive. And honestly, I'm still reeling from this guy over here. But yeah,
Bro,
that
I'm
was
the guy
wow.
that just said that a New Japan Pro Wrestling faction was a Japanese nationalist faction, and even Mark's, or even I feel like Mark went out on more of a limb than I did.
I mean, they are undergirded by the Yakuza. Like they are supporting them underneath. So who even knows?
All I'm saying is that I don't think that it's that much of a stretch.
Yeah, probably not.
Anyway,
Yeah, what
Sonata is Sonata's facing Jungle Boy, and he's definitely going to retain. Which means, of course, we already know also that MJF was definitely going to retain. But see, look at the disparity there, though. Can I just point that out? MJF, so the AEW World Champion, is defending his title against someone that we know is going to lose, but it's fucking Tanahashi, man. Who is the AEW equivalent to Tanahashi?
do they even have one? Sting, maybe?
Jericho, maybe?
Yeah, but he's a heel right now. Well, yeah, but I guess Sonata. I don't even know about Sonata's status. It's weird.
Would we really
Like,
want to see Jericho Sonata either, though? I don't know. I feel like that would be better than Jungle Boy. Fuck.
only if he cuts a pissy promo afterwards. Oh, and then again, nah, honestly, save it. You can't beat
Bacanata.
Happy Championship. Yeah. Man, your ability to entertain yourself, man. I need to get in on that. That was what? Okay. Yeah, so Baganata, but you can't beat the first happy championship bitch because we'll all know that it's contrived. And I'm saying if Jericho did it,
He bring
we'll
back
all
the
know that it's contrived.
Painmaker.
Oh God, the pacemaker? No. Oh God. Um. Oh God. So yeah, Forbidden Door. I kind of want to keep that door closed. I don't know. Not really.
Dude,
Not
I
really.
I feel like Ghetto should want to keep that door closed. He does not benefit from this relationship at all.
No, well, I've had questions about Ghetto for a few years now.
Literally, it's like, how does New Japan benefit from their relationship with AEW at all?
I don't think they do
Like,
really at all.
the talent exchange is one way. They send their guys to AEW and they get Eddie Kingston in the G1 in return. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. I mean, they are getting the Danielson Okada matchup down the line,
They're getting,
but
dude, Danielson Okada's happening at Forbidden Door.
oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, so that does still benefit AEW in
That's
the
an
end.
AEW pay per view. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, AEW gets New Japan talent all the time. I feel like it's pretty frequent. And, like, Shibata is literally a champion in Ring of Honor. Like they've used Ishii multiple times. Suzuki is teaming with Jericho and Guevara again on fucking Dynamite this coming week. Like, what does New Japan get out of this?
Um, feels like nothing. I don't even have a sincere answer
They
for you,
get
and
to they're doing another favor for an AEW guy by letting Eddie Kingston fulfill his dream of working in the G1. Like,
yeah,
what is New Japan getting out of this, really?
yeah. Foster said Jungle Boy said when he beats Sonata, he and Hook aren't friends anymore. Why would he say that? What? What's the motivation? That makes no sense. I'm not like angry at you, Foster, obviously. I'm just
I
utterly
love
bewildered.
Foster's
Like,
next message though. Maybe Hook should help Jungle Boy win so he can stop hanging out with him.
yeah, Hook, you can do so much better, baby. Just
Yeah, yeah.
just dump him. Like you're literally bigger than him. It's not that big a deal.
Oh my god. Caster Sales
Any
said AEW isn't the bigger company. I really don't know. I mean, obviously in the US, AEW is bigger than New Japan. And really then, I shouldn't say obviously because I don't know for sure. I guess that kind of is what New Japan sees the benefit as being, right? Is that like if they still have the goal of expanding into the US, AEW is kind of helping them to kind of like spread their roots a little bit in the US by just like introducing the US audience to their workers, but even still, man, I don't know. I feel like the people who are AEW fans that are getting introduced to these New Japan wrestlers probably already knew about the New Japan wrestlers because like AEW fans are like hardcore wrestling fans who follow this shit anyway.
yeah.
I'm not saying all of them, but like at least like 30-40% easily.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about how New Japan benefits, and I don't know.
Yeah, Paul
I don't
just
know.
said they're using AEW to penetrate the US market. That's really it. Like if you get creative, that's really the extent to which I can see it benefiting AEW at all, or New Japan, I should say, at all.
Yeah, I guess that is a fair point by Paul to his credit. But
But still,
yeah.
like I feel like, dude, low key on the low, like keep this quiet, don't tell anyone. But I feel like WWE would be willing to do the exact same thing AEW is doing, and they're way fucking bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they might lose several New Japan talents in the process because you know WWE would use it as a scouting mission. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, we're at that point where talking about AEW is actively draining me now. So, is there anything else to talk about from this product?
Oh, right. Good question. So the main event of Dynamite this week was the Blackpool Combat Club, of course, excluding Danielson because he doesn't wrestle on TV anymore, apparently, versus, and I'm quoting, this is actually their tag team name, the Hung Bucks. I feel like, are you rubbing your temples counterclockwise now?
No, I was close though. I was
Okay.
close though.
Yeah. Just to keep this as simple as possible, Hangman pinned Wheeler Yuta,
Okay. That it?
and then the BCC continued the beatdown after the bell with Claudio and Hangman in the middle of the ring, and then Eddie Kingston came out and went after Claudio immediately because Eddie Kingston fucking hates Claudio Castagnoli. And then he gets back in the ring. Eddie gets back in the ring with Moxley in the ring, and they're just kind of face to face because like they still like each other. They're still friends. Neither one of them is like getting physical. But then Matt Jackson jumps Moxley. Kingston throws him off of Moxley, and we get the face off now. But then fucking Takeshita comes down to attack Kingston, beats the shit out of him, and stands tall. But then Omega comes out, and we get a brawl between Omega and Takeshita, and yeah, the elite stand tall basically. Oh wait, no, actually that's not true. I ended it early. The elite looked like they were going to stand tall, but then Will Ospreay showed up and hit Kenny with a super kick and a hidden blade, and then a Stormbreaker. So yeah, actually it was Billiam that stood tall.
Fucking ocean spray.
Yeah.
I actually did see this. I was unimpressed, as you can imagine. Yeah, that's cool. Probably isn't though.
I think,
It's
well, I
whatever.
mean, people are impressed just by the fact that they put so many feuds into the last few minutes. Like, I feel like if we were reviewing this show like right after it happened, we would have been like, "Oh my god, so much just happened!" Like we would have been at least somewhat excited about it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's not a bad thing to do. Um, Kingston and Moxley, planting the seeds potentially for future conflict there because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Mox, what happened to you? I'm from Brooklyn, kind of thing with Eddie
I love
Kingston.
that Eddie Kingston impression. You can literally say anything, but if you add "I'm from Brooklyn," it's just Eddie Kingston. That's perfect.
Given up on everything. But yeah, that conflict should be interesting. He's old and he's like blown up, but he's got a lot of heart and he clearly loves pro wrestling, but so do a lot of other people that are, in shape.
Do
So
you
I
know
don't know
who
what to
my
tell you,
least
Edward.
favorite wrestler is?
Who?
Claudio Castagnoli. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm Eddie Kingston.
Oh, 10 out of 10. Eddie, is that you? I didn't know you'd be on the podcast. Oh, I'm done. Is there anything actually, I guess the
That was
only
the main
noteworthy
event of
thing
the show on Dynamite.
I think the only noteworthy thing seemingly from Raw, I did like Balor and Seth's exchange on the mic.
Oh, was it good?
Um I mean, I thought so. Like, Balor, I think, came with a lot of fire. He has a reason to be angry. Seth did take a year from his career. I don't blame Seth for it, but I know Seth actually did get a lot of flack for it online at the time. I remember the whole discourse about,
Oh
like,
God.
oh, Seth is unsafe
Well,
and
yeah,
this and
because
that.
of
Like,
course, then shortly afterwards, Seth had the whole thing happen with Sting, where Sting basically had to retire afterwards, but Sting's back in the ring now.
yeah. So it's been rough for old Sethington. But then Seth, did his usual cackle. Like, he has got weird energy, my guy. That's the one. Man, man, you are gonna be revved up tonight after this. I can tell. The
Yeah.
energy, I'm liking it. I'm digging it. But
I don't even know what you're
yeah,
talking about. I feel chill as hell.
he's just like, "Oh, I'm the best version of Seth Rollins because I did stuff." And then he's asking Balor, which which version of you is going to show up? The Finn Balor that beat me with one arm for the Universal Championship, or the little bitch? And it's like, WWE. I just, I've learned as I've gotten older that you can still insult people with expletives. But first of all, I think it's a matter of tone. If I say really viscerally that you're a dumb bitch and you feel it, that's going to devastate your life. You're going to really just feel like, wow, wow, just it's over for me. But there are so many other creative ways to insult and screw with people. I could
Oh
share some,
God.
yeah,
I really wanted to do two different variations of that. One where you tweak the tone and one where you tweak the wording. Can I do that real quick?
sure, get it out of
Cause,
your
cause
system.
you did the you're a dumb bitch, right? Like really affectionate, like really passionate, like you're really just into it. But like I also wanted to do like a really laid back version, like you're a dumb bitch, right?
Yeah.
But then like there's also the other version where you maintain the passion, but then you change the wording. You're a real duty head.
Yeah, oh god. But yeah, I mean,
Which of
like,
those three options hurts the most?
I feel like the laid back one.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the nonchalance of it all.
Yeah, it's like, God, you're a problem, but I'm just not willing to put in the effort to help you realize it. You need to realize it
Yeah.
yourself.
But like these people need to get better and more creative with their psychological warfare. Like I had a friend once when they're like, "Man, I want to die." And my only response was, "Well, try not to be as much of a burden to me in death as you were in life." See, that's screwing with someone. That's really destroying them because it's like, "Wow, that was awful." And what can they do? "Oh, you're a bitch." Like, "Oh, wow." As if nobody says that about other people anymore.
Bro, dude, I'm starting to really get frustrated with the repetitive language that gets used, both in wrestling and just kind of in like real life conversations as well. Because,
Yeah.
like, we need to find insults that aren't sexist or ableist. We really do.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's a whole like language is so rich and diverse and nuanced. Like,
Yeah, like, I feel like
you
the
know,
most commonly used insults are bitch, pussy, and then literally just a huge gaggle of insults related to being stupid or dumb.
yeah. And like I just really want there to be more creativity on the mic. as somebody that
And I'm guilty of
really,
it too, because I've literally spent the last like 3 days calling CM Punk bitch made.
yeah. No, well, because here's the thing. I think it gets so ingrained. It's like sometimes I don't even really necessarily think we're fully conscious of it. But I know in other contexts, like I've shown that I have quite an array of language, and I just look at these promos and I'm like, y'all could unironically benefit from reading some literature. And I'm not even talking Shakespeare, although that's fine too. But like, read a book, expand your options. Just being like, oh, I know enough. Let me just do this. And for some, you can get away with it. But insult wise, man, you got to step your game up. Listen to some rap music. But I mean, I know they lean into expletives a lot too, but I know there are some rappers that do really creative bars and insults. Talk with the Usos for a minute, like
Oh,
do something.
yes. God.
Yeah.
I,
See, like that. Fucking Foster said some pedestrian in GTA called me a shit stomper. Honestly, it was a new one. There you go. Like, yeah, that's a start. I don't really know how much mileage it has, but it's a single step, and that's
See,
still something.
and do you know what the most insulting word in that entire sentence was?
What's that?
Pedestrian.
Yeah,
Imagine a promo like Roman Reigns could pull this off, where like someone that's never challenged him before, let's just throw out like a Chad Gable or something like that, is
yeah.
like really like puffing his chest out and like acting like he's gonna like really take it to him and be the shit. And Roman just looks at him, he's just like, who the hell told this pedestrian that he could breathe my air?
Oof. Oh, see, that took me out, and I'm not even Gable.
That's what
Like,
I'm saying, man. Like that's the kind of creativity that I'm talking about, man. That's the kind of shit that I want to hear more in these promos, not just like you're a bitch, you're a dickhead, your mom.
yeah, like Seth Word, you're being very banal in your language, and I
He
don't
said Seth
appreciate it.
word and then Banal back to back. Holy shit.
Like, well, see again, I'm a quality promo. Hire me, WWE. Shit. Fuck,
I mean,
I'll
bro, they've had Freddie Prince Jr. I don't know.
I mean, who did he ever beat? That's all I'm saying.
What
So
the
just
odds?
wow. Go to your room again. That's the second time I'm saying in your room today.
I'm
You
proud of
know?
myself. I'm gonna try and set a new record today, I think.
Oh my god. You really are a child. It's unbelievable. All right. What else happened on Raw? Oh
Oh,
yeah, Rhea accepted a match on Dominic's behalf for Money in the Bank. So wait, what? I'm reading this from Paul and it took me out. Wow. Wow. That's quite traumatic, Paul. I'm really sorry that happened to you. um But yeah, Rhea accepted the challenge on behalf of Dominic. He kind of took a cheap shot at Cody again. I laughed, so I guess it was okay. And then I'm sorry, problem.
just the delivery of I laughed, so I guess it was okay. Oh my god. Is that where the bar is now? Is that really where we're at? Is that why Dom's a guilty pleasure for you?
Bro, that's where my energy is right
Because he
now.
occasionally makes you giggle.
That's where my energy is right now. Let's be clear. Um, so
Jesus
wow,
Christ.
you're really guffawing pretty heartily right now. Um,
Oh.
but yeah, so that's happening. And then Priest was kind of like, "Oh, you guys stay in the back while I, take care of Riddle." And then he kind of like, side eyes Finn because apparently Finn didn't listen when Priest told him. Which I'm sorry, Priest. Who's the leader of Judgment Day? But then again, I don't really blame you for your defiance. Like, Finn's kind of tilting a little bit.
Just want to throw out a
So
friendly reminder that this entire time, that this entire storyline has been about Dominic Mysterio. We could have been getting it about Humberto Carrillo in the same role instead, and it would have been a million times better.
I mean, maybe we don't know that.
I mean, one has talent and the other one doesn't, so.
I mean, just because you say things with immaculate tone doesn't make it right. um. So yeah, I feel good about that retort. I think we can move on from that conversation. I don't even know what else happened on the show.
I thought Raw was very, very mediocre this week, personally.
I mean, Gunther was on it. That was a plus. Yeah,
What
him
did
and
Gunther do this week?
wasn't that the Ludwig Kaiser tag title opportunity that they lost because Ludwig had to be
Oh
fucking
yeah, because Sammy pinned him with the Blue Thunder Bomb. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Who gets pinned with the Blue Thunder Bomb except AJ Styles? He lost to Karrion Cross this week.
God, AJ might have the most inconsistent power level of anyone in WWE since the Big Show.
Bro, I think the bigger story here is that anti-vaxxers are stronger than flat earthers confirmed.
I mean, aren't
Uh,
they all cut from the same cloth?
I mean,
There's probably a
yeah.
lot of overlap there. Let's be real. Like, what do you think the odds are that AJ got the jab? Also, what do you think the odds are that Karrion isn't a flat earther? Like, come on now.
Wait, don't you wanna flip that? Because it's AJ that's the flat earther, so aren't you
But
like
that's what I'm saying, though. I feel like they probably apply to both. AJ probably is also anti-vax, and Karrion is also probably a flat earther. It wouldn't surprise me at
oh,
all.
oh, okay, I see where you're driving at. But no, I'm just surprised because given, who is representing which faction, I thought AJ would win because I thought that immune system would just be devastating, since they brought back smallpox and measles just, single-handedly. So, I mean, come on, Alan, you're making us look bad.
Wait, I'm
Fucking
confused now. You confused me.
well, I'm just saying, like, you'd think care like anti-vaxxers, like, they're bringing back diseases that we really had under control, and that obviously wreaks havoc on immune systems and populations. So, you'd think Allen, who gets the jab and is like, yeah, I'm
But
robust,
do we
like you'd
know
be able
for
to
a
him.
fact that Allen got the jab?
Touche, Ashton.
Yeah, that's
But
kind of what I was saying. Is like they both have this one thing that they're obviously conservative about, but who's to say they're not also conservative about the thing that the other guy is more open about?
oh, and you know what too? Allen seems to support Steven Crowder because he's liked some of his tweets.
Oh,
So you know that he didn't let
fuck.
his wife take the car. So because of that, you know that Allen's not taking the win.
Oh, God. Poor Wendy.
Yeah. When do they go into Wendy's?
Oh, Wendy.
Uh, during that whole feud, she's like, "Look, let me talk to him. Wendy, you're not taking the car. I will handle
Oh,
this."
yeah. Speaking of Joey Samoa, he looked pretty good tonight.
Well, that's good. I'm proud of Samoan Joseph. He's
He
he's a
looked
good
he
egg.
looked like he was in better ring shape than Punk tonight. Not the size wise, but like just like breath wise, he wasn't blown up.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. Um, Foster hashtag Samoa Joe was right. All right. I feel like there's probably nothing else to talk about from Raw. Um, did you do any extracurriculars this week?
Nah,
Nah, me, I probably didn't either. Um,
you gotta think
so
about it.
oh god, it's so over, and so am I. All right, forums
Uh,
open for questions about this week in the world of wrestling, and it has been a doozy, y'all. So, yeah,
Toss
let's
out all them cues, y'all. We'll give you our best A's.
absolutely.
That was my Montel impression. How was it?
7 out of 10.
Ouch.
Oh yeah, Priest did beat Riddle clean, so he is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I'll just say that I wouldn't mind if Priest won it. I think he's been doing great work, and if that's his reward for keeping Bad Bunny safe and having a banger in Puerto Rico, then yeah, I mean, Money in the Bank means nothing anyway. Priest actually would be a believable winner, so yeah, no complaints here. Caster trying to bring us back to the previous segment. No, this is Q&A right now. Um, Abel, when you bring in Eddie Kingston back on the podcast, I enjoy his brief cameo earlier. Yo, Abel partner, it's Eddie Kingston. I'm from Brooklyn. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, there you go. A little shout out for my son there.
So Eddie, I've been meaning to ask you. I know you're a big fan of New Japan, but which of the other Japanese major promotions would you say is your favorite?
Oh, well, partner, I watch AJPW a lot. I'm from Brooklyn, so we get great internet. And Misawa was just king. I wish I could have shared a ring with him. But, I try and keep up with everything.
So do you prefer early All Japan Misawa or late Noah Misawa?
Uh, I would say early. I would say early. I watch everything I can. Being from Brooklyn, I just eat pizza and watch wrestling. As I
Nice.
got a lot of free time, and
Yeah, damn. I've
I s
watched a lot of early Misawa, and I gotta tell you, I think he's overrated.
Wow. God, partner, I gotta tell you, it kind of makes me want to set you on fire. I'm from Brooklyn. We don't really settle things with words. We kind of just, choose violence.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, man. I've heard the setting on fire thing. You got to work on your anger, man.
All right, so that was that interview. Let's see.
He walked out the door as soon as I said he had to work on his anger because men from Brooklyn would literally just rather walk off a bridge than work on themselves therapy wise.
Yeah, yeah, that's men. That's men. Um, let's
You
see.
know what? You're
Caster.
right. I shouldn't have said from Brooklyn. It's men in general.
Yeah, so Caster Sales asking, you are aware that Santos beat Knight on SmackDown? Yes, yes, Caster. Santos did beat Knight. He is going to Money in the Bank as well. Again, another guy that I would not mind winning. It's just and that was, I think, what, and that was a singles match. That's right. But yeah, that honestly, it kind of distressed me a little bit because I'm like, oh, Knight might win because a lot of Money in the Bank winners, they lose on TV a lot and then win at the pay-per-view because
Hmm.
we're building people up. So yeah, I wasn't exactly thrilled about that.
I was in the
So
moment because I like to live in the moment when it comes to wrestling.
that's healthy.
I cheered
I
when
love
when Santos got that dub.
Yeah, I love that for you.
I would
That's
have
cool.
preferred it if it was like a real win, like you hit him with the Phantom Driver and pinned him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring rather than a roll up. But I'll take a dub any way I can get at this point.
Yes. Okay, so we're getting quite a few questions here, so let me just catch up. When is CM Punk and the Elite going to end this shit so we can get the feud going? There won't be any feud because CM Punk
Never.
is soft.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's adorable that you think that that's just a work. Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
CM Punk couldn't even be a sponsor for fucking Pillsbury because getting poked in the belly would be too much for him. He'd go to dust. Um, let's see.
Alex Foster, Eddie Kingston, and Joey Wheeler friendship. I need it.
Oh God, I no. I love you, Foster, but no, I can't. I can't handle that right now.
But my red eyes.
No. Paul asked, "What's the worst physical pain you've ever been in?" Probably when I had an allergic reaction to duck eggs and I was hunched over the toilet, throwing up and laying on my bathroom floor, hoping that I'd die. What about you? What's the worst
The
physical pain you've
worst
ever been in?
physical pain I've ever been in. That's a really good question.
That doesn't even have anything to do with the show, but I'm humoring it.
This is like a different kind of Q and A. This is usually a question we want you to ask for our quarterly Q and A that comes up at the end of the month.
Yeah, literally in 12 days, Paul. You couldn't hold out for 12 days?
What is the worst physical pain, Mom? What's the worst physical pain I've ever been in?
Wow.
Damn, she had no idea. Fuck.
Your body doesn't know?
I mean, I don't track it. It's not like I have a chart.
I mean, maybe. Wow. So for that, you don't have a shirt. You're really telling on yourself right now. Wow. Side eyeing you super hard.
Um, I mean, maybe I know that when I was like 6 or 7 years old, I was down in the basement with my stepdad, and he had he was working on a project that involved power tools, and I had a drill in my hand, and I accidentally turned it on, and it went through my thumb a little bit.
Oh.
But I was so young then,
Oh.
I don't even really remember it. So I mean, if I had to guess, it would be that, but I don't remember it, so I couldn't really tell you for sure.
Damn. All right. Well, let's just move on. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Foster, do you think Priest is turning face soon? Yeah, I think he will go. But actually,
Oh,
I do think he's been
you
willing
know
to go
what, dude? I
babyface.
just
Yeah.
thought of it. I'll tell you right now.
Sure.
Summer of '03, worst sunburn I've ever experienced. I literally had blisters on my shoulders to the point that if you tried to touch them, the skin came off of the shoulder and stuck to your finger when you pulled it away.
Oh.
Yep, that would be it.
Fuck.
That would probably be it. Yep, that was horrible. I
God.
literally had to go to my dad's mom, my paternal grandma's house for like a week because the air conditioning in my mom's mom, my maternal grandma's house wasn't working, and I literally just could not exist in a house without air conditioning because of how much heat was emanating from my neck and shoulders from how bad that sunburn was.
I felt safe as hell 2 seconds ago, and then you bring that to the chat. Like,
Yeah,
god
that's I
damn.
would that's probably what it is as far as at least what I can remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, thanks for that trauma, bud. Really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, clearly.
Happy to contribute.
Um, so do you think Priest is turning face? And I'm sorry, Foster. I started to answer that question and then trauma happened. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Priest is going baby. Because it seemed like Finn is still pretty stuck in his ways. So it'll take Phineas a little bit longer to, see the light and
Oh
shit.
yeah, Paul. It's funny you bring up losing fingernails because when I was 6 or 7 or 8, I don't even remember how old I was. I know it was single digit age. I want to say 8 actually because I think it was the first year that I was at a new school that I can think of. I started playing baseball and I went to try and catch the ball and I had the wrong hand on top and the baseball hit me in the fingers, like bare fingers rather than in the glove. And I ended up losing 2 fingernails from that, and that was up there as far as worst pains I've ever felt too. Yeah, that was pretty miserable.
Wow, loving the bonding happening right now.
Dude, I
Le-
literally like I tried to throw the ball back and I just couldn't like get lift on the ball. Like I just like my hand was like borderline numb. It was horrible. Cuz
Caster
somebody like I
Sales.
was I was out in like left field or right
Yeah,
field. I was in right field and like somebody hit the ball and I went to catch it and it was like a low ball. I was like reaching down to catch it
yeah.
and I had the wrong hand on top. Like literally, like I had the glove on my left hand, but I had my right hand on top of my glove because I was 8 and a dumbass. And the ball landed, pop fly landed on my fingernails basically.
Oof.
And yeah, like it was. And again, I was like a little 8-year-old kid, so of course all of my body parts were more fragile than they would be now. But yeah, no, it was horrible. That was awful. I don't know if I played baseball again after that. Honestly, that might have been my last straw. I don't remember very well.
All
My
right.
childhood memories are very faded. Is that normal? Like, do you remember a lot from before you were like 10 years old or so?
A lot. I mean, my childhood was viscerally traumatic, so it's kind of more
Yeah,
encoded
that's
in a
probably
different
not a
way.
great question to be asking you. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, this wow. We're opening up a lot of stuff. Let's close some of that, yeah? Let's get to the next question. When Sammy stood up to Gunther, I got chills. There is someone with more fire than Sami Zayn right now. No, Sammy's definitely a top tier babyface for sure, Caster. It's kind of disappointing that Riddle's gonna be Gunther's next feud. Just because
So, I love the way you said that because it was so enlightening to me.
said what exactly? Because I just
Sammy is
answered.
a top tier babyface because
Yeah.
it was like you were saying Sammy is really good at what he does. It's just that what he does isn't that valuable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know that you're just such a huge fan of heels and you just value that so much more.
Yeah, I mean, I love douchebags. I
Yeah.
mean, we know it. It's a thing.
I mean,
Um,
Sammy has been a pretty fucking top tier douchebag in the past.
he has. I still want the documentary, man. I'm telling you. I'm waiting for it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't even trying to diss Sammy. Like, I do
No,
think
I
he's a
know.
great
That's what was
babyface.
so funny to me, though, was that you were giving him credit for
Yeah.
sure. It was just that, like, it was like a subconscious thing that you did where you were like, he's a really good babyface. It was like you were almost giving him like a consolation prize. Like you were giving him credit for being amazing at something, but you were also like subconsciously, like in your own mind, like the thing that he's really good at doesn't fucking matter to me because I love douchebags and not good guys.
Nice. All right, but yeah, I mean, Kessler, he does still have a lot of fire. Crowd's still going crazy for him. Again, I could still believe him beating Roman. It just feels more than ever like Jey Uso's story right now.
Yeah.
As it should. Let's see. Super Blue. Who is going to get the final spot in the women's Money in the Bank? I actually am almost thinking that Bailey is just going to keep her spot, and Io is actually just going to genuinely help her.
No, he means the final spotlight between Raquel and Trish.
Oh, I think Raquel, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think Becky's gonna screw with Trish and make sure she's not in the match, and then Trish is gonna be like adamant that Becky cannot win Money in the Bank. So, um, just gonna ignore that comment from Super Blue there.
What did he
Foster,
say?
he said LA Knight should win the briefcase. That wasn't a question, so I'm not gonna expend energy on that. Super Blue, do you think Reed could take out Rick or Shinsuke and open the door of Logan to take a spot? I don't think that's gonna happen personally. Have they even teased like anything like that might happen?
I
Because
don't
I
know.
know he's been kind of running roughshod on people, but yeah, it just feels kind of random. That was Paul's trauma. Who is your ideal opponent to face CM Punk? Kenta, and that's not going to happen because CM Punk is
Scared.
just a coward. Yeah, he's just, He's like, no, it'll work too stiff. Grow up. Should AEW have brought back CM Punk? No, they need to learn how to better promote the talent that they have and building them up, and making them into draws rather than relying on some bitter old man. So let's see.
Yeah,
Who do you
honestly,
think?
like the whole Punk situation, if for no other reason, they should not have brought him back on principle alone because it would have shown that Tony Khan has a fucking spine, but now we all know he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean Tony really told on himself.
Yeah.
Wow. So okay, that's an interesting thing because I thought that's what Super Blue was asking. So I just pulled up the video actually of CM Punk's return from All Elite Wrestling, like on their YouTube channel. Who do you think will take the possible title that's in Punk's bag? So Punk did come out with a bag. He never opened it.
Yeah.
Did he say it was a title?
No.
But he clearly was looking at it and talking about it. So what did he say about it?
He just basically implied. It was very heavily implied that it was a title, but he never said that it was.
Oh, so he made himself a championship. That's cool. Well, Punk will be the inaugural champion because he's the Jeff Jarrett of this bitch, which is funny because AEW actually has Jeff Jarrett. Um,
Damn.
and then
He's
I'd love for
11.0
Andrade to
bucks
take it,
people.
but that's probably not happening.
Oh no, the second champion. Haven't you heard? It's going to be Preston Vance.
Ew.
Did you
um,
see those rumors a few months ago that like if/when CM Punk does return to AEW television, one of his pet projects is that he wants to try and get Preston Vance over.
oh God. Okay. So yeah, any other questions? So yeah, just essentially Super Blue, just really be emphatic about it. I would hope that a guy like Andrade would take it, but yeah, I really don't know.
Abel said, "What is the best physical sensation you've felt?"
Hmm. Probably anytime I'm really in the water, like after the initial cold. That always feels really good.
Nice,
Either that or getting high and the looseness of being baked AF.
nice.
What about you? What's the best physical sensation you've ever felt?
Hmm.
Besides being in proximity to my face.
Hmm. I don't know. Physical sensation, I don't fucking know. It's tough to go there without getting sexual. And I don't want to get NSFW on the podcast right now.
That's fair. All right, so we'll just table that one. But yeah, any other questions? Who else baked AF? I unfortunately am not, but I've been thinking about it a lot the last couple days. I'm definitely due able. And this guy's straight edge, so he ain't gonna do it.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, just because I've never done any of that stuff doesn't mean that I wouldn't.
So we can peer pressure you into it. Sweet.
See, but I'm also really fucking stubborn, so the harder you try and make me do something, the less I'm gonna want to do it.
Oh, God, I know. It's funny that you and I can both be stubborn about different things at different times, but if we were ever stubborn at the same time, which I think we have been when certain people are like, "Hey, do you want to watch this Cody matchup?" Our stubbornness is our superpower. And we're like, "No, it's not happening."
Yeah, and fuck you.
Yeah, that too. Um, man, Paul, I am learning so much about you today. I think we can move on. Oh wait, no, Super Blue actually did ask a genuine question. Um, did Jay's chances to beat Roman at WrestleMania drop by staying with Jimmy? None if the writing's good.
Correct.
I think the chances are as good as they always were. Again, I even laid out the blueprint earlier in the show about how it can go all the way to WrestleMania. Now, I'm not saying WWE has to do that, but I think they have to do something. That's kind of the point. So yeah, chances have nothing to do with an individual character's choices because those choices were written for them. Therefore, the chances always lie with the writing. Abel said he's ready for his favorite segment. I want to make sure the people are ready, Abel. We want to field all the relevant questions, even though this has been a very weird week in review this week. Any other questions about this week in the world of wrestling?
I'm sorry, was there a question there?
Well, Super Blue asked, did Jay's chances to beat Roman at WrestleMania drop by staying with Jimmy? And
No,
I gave a
no,
whole
yeah,
explanation on
I
why.
was fully with you on that. I thought you just asked me one directly.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, people? Super Blue said he's good. Paul, do you have any more sharing you want to do, Paul, with the group? I mean, not that that even counts as a question. So yeah, you can keep sharing, Paul. It doesn't really matter. There's no time limit for you to share, I guess. But you should share in the Discord more. I don't see you in the Discord very often, Paul. I'd fucking love you more in the Discord. And
Hell
great.
yeah.
I am fully in support of that. So yeah, I guess we can move on to high spots and low shots. Easiest low shot in TwitWoW freaking history. Roman Reigns got totally super kicked by Jey Uso, and then again by both the Usos. Solo couldn't even protect him because they kind of, outmaneuvered him. And yeah, Roman just there are other low shots, sure, but like this is the lowest hanging fruit I'm ever going to eat. And it tastes bitter because I hate it. So
Abel in chat
oosh.
said, Papa, no!
No, Abel, Papa John. Yeah.
My low shot's going to be Ludwig Kaiser.
Oh, because they ate the pin for Sam. Right. That's
And it's
good.
not just that he ate the pin, it's that he lost to a blue thunder bomb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. I mean, I'm not trying to flex, but I would have kicked out. So, um,
I think all of us would have kicked out, John.
you're right. Wow, Super Blue. Wow. Just keeps getting worse. Keeps getting worse.
Mina lost her title like 3 weeks ago. That's not relevant.
But I guess if somebody only saw it this week, that now I'm with Abel. Super Blue, no. High spot for me. I mean, high spot is usually Abel and Foster, for existing. But I mean, I can't keep giving it to these guys. I have to share so that everybody else doesn't feel inadequate.
Why? Who
So,
made that rule?
you know what? You're right. High spot Abel and Foster. Fuck you, everyone else. Who's your high spot? No, I got to give somebody serious. Unfortunately. God. Let's see. This week would be okay from then to then. Uh See, I don't want to use it from the same storyline because I kind of like abide by your rule too. I know you don't like to like double dip essentially in the same angle or whatever. So I'm not
Right.
just gonna say, you know, and if you want to take him, like that leaves you with the opening because you said Ludwig Kaiser for low shot. So I also want to be charitable to you too. You're damn right, Foster deserves it, but so do you, Abel. God, so much handsomeness. In fact, speaking of handsomeness, I low key want to give it to Santos, but he just beat LA Knight, and again, not to flex, but like who hasn't? Um, yeah, I said what I said, Super Blue, and I'm doubling down just before you come in and like, hey, yeah, I know what I said. I'm aware. Um, let's see. Wow, Paul. Wow. A lot of disrespect for our tribal chief. I really don't understand. I'm really trying to think of a high spot though.
You really don't understand?
Clearly.
Like, even if you like think about it real hard, you still wouldn't get it.
How do you want me to answer that? Because I know you didn't mean to, but I just have to say, just from the disabled perspective, I love that that was like the softest bald ableism ever. Like, I know you're not very bright, son, but just think harder. I know you'll get it. Like, suck my entire ass. Thank you. No, high spot. You know what? High spot Damian Priest. He got the last spot in Money in the Bank.
Nice.
Like, the last one, and, like, I think it's even more impressive because he very recently had a world heavyweight title shot and he lost it, so, like, if I'm management and kayfabe, I'm like, "You already challenged for the title, why should I give you a shot at the thing which gives you another shot at the title, and this time, anytime you want?" But he still got it, like, I think that's impressive as hell, so Priest for high spot.
So I'm going to give my honorary high spot to Jey Uso for
Okay.
pretty obvious reasons. But I can't just give my high spot to anyone other than my boy Andrade El Idolo.
Yes!
God, his return. Honestly, we give high spot normally as like a kayfabe award, like oh who had the best week or whatever. This is the personal award, man. This is me. Literally, Andrade wrestling was the high point of my week, and I'm gonna be real, even including Stardom.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that, man. I know how much you freaking love Andrade. Hell, if I actually had the energy to give enough of a crap about AEW to watch the actual good talent that I know I like, I'd probably be fervent about Andrade too. He's just that good. Like, yeah, do not fault you whatsoever, bro.
Yeah,
That's a
like my
great high
my
spot.
top four moments of this week in wrestling were the Gates of Agony throwing Darby Allin into a power bomb by Brian Cage. That was amazing. Um, the pretty much the entire final exchange between Starlight Kid and Tomoka
Tomoka,
Inaba in that tag title
yeah,
match, Jay's turn, and the entire Andrade versus Buddy Matthews match.
yeah.
So that's easy enough for me. So we're done here, I guess, right?
Well, you know what? I will just say that I'm happy your face knew happiness because it
Thanks,
deserves it.
bud. You
Yeah,
too.
we'll
I want you
we'll
to
end
have
on a
happiness too.
well, I appreciate that. I'll let you know when it comes. Because
Oh,
Stoneham's really been making me eat it right now.
yeah.
Um,
It's been
but
tough.
yeah, no, I wanted to end on a loving and affirming note because this has been the silliest weekend review maybe that we've ever done since this show started. Um,
Maybe.
we're already done 30 of these. I just saw in the title it's number 30. Dude, it's crazy when we start something how quickly like it accrues. That's nuts,
You
dude.
don't even have to think about it. It just kind of happens.
I don't anymore. Life on autopilot's so easy.
Ooh.
Oh, Abel! You're gonna make me genuinely cry on stream. Don't you do that, mister. I'm this close to outroing.
It is basically midnight on Father's Day.
You wished me a happy Father's Day. Oh my god. I'm sorry, people. This is a big deal for me. Not gonna cry. All right, I am going to take us home. And you, sir, you make sure to feed Wormy and you get to bed. Well, maybe you already slept. You might be up till like 9 o'clock in the morning. Just like your old man. God, we need help. Okay. With that said, this has been TwitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John, cohort and commentary Ashton. Guys, be sure to like the video, file out. Uh, Subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that 12 goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And Ash and I do remember that we talked about this, so I think I can say confidently, guys, we may be seeing you Monday at 4 to do the Stardom June 4th show, which took place in Corrigan Hall. So you know Corrigan Hall shows are big. They do it big. And it seems like that very well could happen. They have 7 matches up. I think they literally just need match number 7 of 8, and then that's it. So I'm very confident that, yeah, Monday at 4, we will be seeing you all. And yeah, it's Korakuen Hall. It's going to be a stacked Stardom show headlined by the Generational Struggle. Not going to list all the people in it. If you're into Stardom, you know. And if you're not into Stardom, it's the best wrestling you're not watching. And I'm saying that as somebody that got emotionally devastated by this promotion recently, and I still stand by them. My God, am I Jey Uso? You know, at least past Jey Uso. But anyway, yeah, we'll see you at 4 for that on Monday. Again, I'm very confident it's happening. If not, then we'll probably just see you Tuesday at 10 for it. And then for Discord members, we can see you at 8 on Monday for games. If you're on the Discord, it's $3 a month. You can check out the breakdown in the TwitWoW Patreon in the description box below. And we'll just see you guys again when we see you. Until then, always remember, be good to yourselves, be good to one another. Tune in. Peace out.